everyone, it's your girl Miracle Sims, and you're watching the GSL Talk Show. Tonight we're going to be chatting with Brother Javon, and he's going to be sharing all about his testimony. So stay tuned.
Yeah, it's a miracle, baby. Shot chill, miracle Sims, let's go.
No, I'm good, but I bet you wish that I would have a one night affair. But I figure out that I'm not the type of girl that goes.
Yeah, it's a miracle, baby. Shot
You wish that I would have a one night affair.
Welcome back to the GSL Talk Show. As you guys can see, I'm here with Brother Javon. How you doing?
Doing good. Doing good. Glad to be on you. Thank you for reaching out and taking my request. I really appreciate it.
Yes, sir. Welcome to the GSL Talk Show. So, let's start off by you telling me where you're from and just a little bit about yourself.
So I was born and raised here in South Florida, Cutler Ridge in the South. I got married and moved to Pembroke Pines. Um, it's more north in Broward County, and I was there for about 15 years. Um, Divorced last year. Been single ever since. So a little over a year now, officially divorced. We were separated for a while before then. So yeah, I mean, went to school in San Diego, played some football my whole life. Three beautiful kids. I own my own business. Just started, so I'm trying to get that going. The ups and downs of that. So I mean, I'm pretty comfortable. Just trying to stay focused and moving forward. In a nutshell. Yeah.
Okay. All right. Well, hey, I mean, it seems like there's a lot of things going on. I know starting off with saying that you were married and divorced, that's a whole
Yeah.
conversation by itself. But I know we chit chatted a little bit before we got going, and you
Yeah.
mentioned that you're single. Seems like you're looking, and things of that nature. Seems like you're ready to get back in the saddle again, as they say. So I would love to hear, how that's going as a fellow believer, a Christian man out here. And then yeah, then he got the divorce and all that good type of stuff. Like, let us know
Yeah.
how it is going for you, Brother Javon. What's going on?
The biggest thing that I can truly say is intention is very, very important,
Mm,
especially for men. You know,
mhm,
because it's easy to get wrapped up into something, and really not understand where it's going or what's what, and even if you initiated something, there's changes that happen in that process, and so I guess follow through intentions, because you can even
mm,
start off with the right intentions and then it kind of veer off somewhere else if you're not staying focused. So
mm,
there's just so much in that. I mean, that was such a, that is definitely a broad question, but
mm,
dating is going.
mm,
it's, and it's, right now, currently not dating anyone, but I certainly am looking, and you just learn from every experience. You learn from your experiences, and you just try to build on that to make the best decision and just walk it how you want to walk it. So that's my way about it.
Hey, I get it. I get it. I mean,
Yeah.
if you don't mind, and it's all up to you how much you want to share with us and whatnot. But I would love to hear, like, how marriage was for you, and then why did you guys come to the place of divorce and things of that nature. And I know this is three questions in one, but and also if you do want to talk about these things, then also, maybe what was learned from that previous situation, and whatnot. Like, well, how was that? And do you want to share about that part of?
Yeah, I mean, I'm pretty like one thing about me is I can give the long version, I can give a short version, I can give the medium version. I'll give you more of the medium version of it. Um because it is a testimony, and I've learned how to embrace that testimony to be
Mm-hmm.
a blessing for other people,
Yes.
even a blessing for myself. But my marriage began with a prophecy, and so
Mm,
that was the hardest part for me, because being a young man, I got saved at 19 years old, after growing up in churches, etc. I came home from
mm,
college and got saved at 19. When
mm,
I got saved, was in the church serving. uh, I was definitely had a lot of gifts in the ministry that I would serve under. And I would bring different young ladies that I was trying to date at the time, and um, you know, um, just it just so happened that my best friend at the time, that was my ex-wife, she decided to come to service and got saved, and it was just this awesome thing, and so she kept coming to service. So we're
Mm,
best friends, hanging out after church. We ended up start dating, and my pastor brought us up there and said, why aren't you guys married yet? Just like that. I
mm,
hadn't really thought about marriage, didn't know what marriage was really. At 20 years old, I just didn't. That concept just wasn't even in my brain. But when he said that, we was under a very powerful type of ministry, prophetic type of ministry. So
mm.
if he said something, it was almost like God said it. So
Oh,
when he said that, along with the fact that we were already dating, we literally just after service just went in the car like it was a science project and just start planning the wedding. Literally
okay.
just like that. We went to the
Mm.
mall, got the ring, told our friends. I mean, it was just literally just like that. And
Oh,
I know one day probably my ex gonna see this. Maybe I don't know when, but and I've shared this with her. But I remember sitting in the car probably while we were engaged, just being extremely annoyed by her, just a lot of different things. Just a
mm,
few different things, I should say, not a lot, but just a few. And this is just personal, nothing bad about her at all. But just
mm,
personally, I was just aggravated and irritated with a lot of different mannerisms and different things. And it was then that I should have recognized it, because it was those same feelings and that same irritation that carried all the way through all of those years.
mm,
And I was ignoring it and just whatever. I never thought about it. Hey, God said that this is what I'm supposed to do. I'm doing everything I'm supposed to do. And everything else is just the flesh, the devil. I need to stay focused and pray and fast. That was my mentality. So I did that for about 6 years before I just basically was like, I just can't do it anymore. Um,
mm,
Sorry to go so long on it, but I just remember, seeing friends and families, friends really, and other people getting married, colleagues getting married, and how excited they was, and I would see how other men would be with their wives, and I didn't have that same, anything, and I know that I have a lot of love in my heart and everything. So because I wasn't really giving her what she wanted, and what she needed as a woman, and I definitely wasn't feeling it myself. That just made me say, you know what, I want to seek, I want to be happy. So
mm,
and that started the long drawn out process of how it ended up finally being divorced.
mm,
Yeah.
mm. So are you feeling as if like um so if I you can correct me if I'm wrong here, but it seems like it's coming like you feel as if the pastor called y'all to be together versus the Lord. Is that what I'm
So yeah, I mean, at 20 years old, you really don't know. Maybe this isn't an excuse or not, because everybody, now that I'm 37 years old, I look at it, and when you share your testimony, everybody says, well, you should have known this and you should have known that. You got to go to God for yourself. That's easy to say now. But when I was 20 years old,
Mhm,
you're very
mhm,
impressionable, etc. So like,
yeah.
um, I don't want to say if it was the Lord or not, because I really am not sure.
Mm,
There's a few things that probably was indicators that it was Lord. There's some indicators that it wasn't the Lord. All I know is that
mm.
my pastor said what he said, and I just took that and ran with it.
That had a huge impact.
Yes.
I mean, I get it. I mean, I know this, like, I know my mom shared some things about when she was growing up and the pastor would say things and it obviously, directed some choices and whatnot that she made in life and stuff. And I think that those choices are still affecting her today. Especially when they come from a position where it seemed like that wasn't for everybody, you know what I'm saying? Or what was good for us is not good for you. That is, it's just a lot of different stuff. I can't, I guess, fully tell her testimony, but I guess what I'm saying is I get that sometimes you can look back and then I guess feel like, man, I led astray or something like that. But
Mhm.
I mean, 6 years, and I mean, you said three beautiful children and things of that nature. I mean, that's a lot to I guess, fight for and things like that. I mean, but you were saying, you guys come to was it a mutual agreement or was it like you feeling like, no, I need to move on? Um,
Yeah,
that it wasn't.
she's a very faithful woman, saved as well. She she didn't believe in divorce, neither did I. So, no matter what, she was willing to stick it through. I have nothing but great things to say about her because she really is. I mean, a phenomenal woman. It's just, you realize you like what you like, and that's just how it is. I can't really explain it, but it certainly was a fight. Um, and then finally, I just like, look, I ain't doing right. You deserve to be treated much better than what I'm willing to give, and I think this is the best thing. So, and it wasn't the easiest thing, even when like I said, we were not really together prior to the divorce. And when you go down to that courtroom, and boy, reality kind of slept. I wouldn't wish that on anybody. It is a solemn. I don't care. You can hate each other, tooth and nail, but when you going down to that courtroom, it's just something about those courts, and it's just so cold, and they're just so callous, and it's just all business. And
Mm,
you think about the times when you got married, how quickly and easy it was to get married, sign a signature, give them $50, and you're in there. And then to get divorced, it took a very long, drawn out process to do that. But yeah, it was my decision, and it had to be done. It had to
mm,
be done. So, because I mean, I just had to start getting things together and doing things the right way.
mm. There,
Yeah.
there seems like there's a lot there, but at the same time, I don't want to like force you to talk about anything deeper than you want to, and everything.
No doubt about it.
It definitely seems like there's a lot there. I mean, I'm now married and stuff like that, and I mean, I know there's ups and downs and stuff. I've shared here on the platform different things and whatnot, but I feel like, for example, like, oh, there's just a couple of things. If my husband just do a couple of things, we good. Like, I'm fine. I don't have no complaints in no other area, just two, But at the same time, as well, I guess I'm learning that, again, I still gotta, give grace and mercy. Obviously, I
Ah,
can't expect perfection, different things of that nature. And so, I mean, I am curious to know, like, what those things were. But at the same time, again,
no, I
always,
mean, we're
that
here
makes
now.
you feel like that, what I'm saying? Because I mean, maybe it can help somebody. You know what I'm saying? Like I've
That's
been
true.
pretty open and honest on here about my things. But
Hmm.
I guess we're having this conversation. Here we go. I mean, things happen for a reason. But yeah, I've been pretty open and honest that, like, for example, I seem to have a higher drive than my husband, and that seems to be, an issue. Or I my husband doesn't go to church as much as I would hope that he would, and then with
Hmm.
us having a son, I would love for him to be that head and going, or leading by the example and things of that nature.
Gotcha.
But so those are the two things for me that, to me they're huge things. Obviously I got this
Right.
platform GSL, they're huge things to me, but at
Yes.
the same time I have to give again grace, mercy, patience, and and all that type of stuff. As I wait for him to again work out his own salvation with fear and trembling, because that's his relationship with the Lord and whatnot, and what as well. So I guess with that being said, like, what do you feel like? Whatever issues that was going on, like, do you feel like they were simple, or do you feel like it was all you, or
So I'll
like,
tell you. I mean, and just to simplify it, and then maybe you can kind of grasp what I'm saying. But it was just more, um, just. So if I'm being completely honest with you, I learned a lot about myself in the process. I learned so much about myself, and I think that just how she dealt with my ego, and my ambitions wasn't the best early on, and we both was learning. I did I there's a lot. Look, there's a lot of things that could have happened that could have made things better. It could have, but after a certain amount of years, you kind of you just want a fresh start. If I'm being honest with you, and that may be selfish, but that's where it was. But the way that my ex handled my ego early on, and my ambitions really just put a bad taste in my mouth. And I think that resentment and that bitterness just carried on with me throughout the years, and it just compounded. And so once you get in that place, everything that person does just makes you sick, or,
mm,
or, or whatever the case may be. So it just And then so you don't realize the root cause, and then you piled and piled and piled. And so I could nitpick and say I could say so much, right? We all could just talk so bad about who we're with and whatever, but at the end of the day, we're committed to them and we love them unconditional and we just go through it. But if I go all the way to the, because at first I was going to say something different, but when I really just took a second, I can remember specifically an incident that happened, and I came home so excited. I was telling her about an opportunity that was presented my way, and this, that, the other. And what she said stuck with me so bad. She said, you gonna leave your, um, W-2 job where you're getting benefits and stuff. Like, she was completely opposed. We had just had our first kid, and look, she's trying to protect everyone's best interest. She's going for security, she's going for self-preservation. There's nothing wrong with that, but I guess it just rubbed me the wrong way so badly that I said to myself, literally, when she was speaking, I said, I will never tell you another dream or goal or anything ever again in my life. I literally said that in my heart, and I
Mm.
never shared it with her. And again, I was somebody that I just live very authentically. I speak very authentically. So none of it was contrived. And that's the reason why, as much as it looks so bad, leaving a wife that's beautiful and just everything, she does everything I would ask, beautiful kids. It looks so bad on the outside. I know that how I got to that place wasn't just overnight. It wasn't just, something, superficial. This was something deep seated and deep rooted. So yeah, that's what kind of led to it.
Yeah, I
100%.
was going to say, as you were talking, it did, I guess, come to me that, I mean, it seemed that if that you didn't have, I guess, the support system of
Right.
that you or encouragement or something like that. And that can, take a huge or play a huge part. I mean, especially with the
Mhm.
man. And it's interesting that you said that because um a lot of times, especially when people talk about the Bible, they try to give the impression that, oh, women are, oh, the women are being held down, and it's all about the men, and women don't have no say, and da 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 da. But here you are, a man, sharing how much it impacted you, what your woman said. We already know about Eve and how what she did impacted all of us. You know what I mean? Like
Yes.
women, this is, I guess, is an example for us today to know that, yeah, you do have some type of power and impact. And this
Yes.
is exhibit A of what that could look like. Um, and I mean, a matter of fact, the word tells us that as well. It tells us that, again, there are women that are like literally tearing down their homes, sometimes, yeah, with your words, versus again, building up, which is what the word tells us to do. And so, I appreciate you being open and honest and transparent about, those details and everything. Because again, yeah, I think if anybody watching, for example, would be like, well, why'd you leave your wife? Why'd you three kids?
Yeah.
There probably are still questions beyond what you've already
Yeah.
said. But I think
Yeah.
at least that gives at least a little bit of clarity, as well as again, something for us to all to think about. That again,
Yeah.
I feel like I have this type of conversations with, ladies especially, but people that are interested in dating. I know that's what you talk to you about, like that type of thing that I do,
Hmm.
coaching and whatnot. And it's just very interesting that people say that they're ready to be married or they want a relationship and whatnot, but then it's like they don't consider that it's not all about what you can receive from that person, it's what you give to that person as well. Um, so even with, for example, my quote unquote gripes against my husband, at the end of the day, I know that no other man gave me what he's given me, which was not
Wow.
only just security, but also like the fact that he wanted to make me his wife, the fact that
Wow.
we now have a child, all those different things. Like nobody in my past, it doesn't matter if somebody try to come in my past, or somebody try to come in the future. Like who are you compared to this man who took this time to make me his wife, took his time to,
Man.
help us get a home, took this time to help me get a car at one point, get this, took this time to be a great father to our son. Like,
Wow.
and so that's like all of that matters, y'all.
Yeah.
And
There's pros and cons, and everything. And again, I don't want to paint her to be like she just was spoke so bad about it, because at the time it was very much in the moment, and it was just
Mhm.
like, where are we going with our family and just that kind of thing. If you ask her that same question now, she's very sweet, soft spoken, like she's very supportive. It's just at
Mhm.
that particular moment, it was just so sensitive to me. And here it is. I literally just jumped right out just to share with you a big ambition I had, and she probably didn't even realize how much it meant to me. But
Mm.
her response wasn't. I didn't feel the support or the love or the you can do anything what I wanted, right? So because one of my
Mm.
love languages is love or words of affirmation, and she did the opposite on that, and that, but yeah, so yeah, no, I just want to make sure that I don't paint her in a negative light because I never want to do that because she's an amazing person. I want to
Mhm.
make sure I say that, that's just what it is. But yeah, that's what happened.
I understand. I mean, and shout out to her. She watches no shade or nothing like that. I'm just trying to like let people know because again, like I said, I talk to a lot of people that do seem to come from a selfish side of being like, well, what is this man going to do for me, and what about, and it's all about them, and it's like, well, no, but what about your part and what you're pouring into him and things like that? That part does still matter,
Yes,
as well, and but anyway, so now you're divorced, right? Now you're in a place where you want to date again. It sounds like you want to be
yes,
married again and things of
yes,
that nature.
definitely.
You know, so what are you looking to do? I guess that is different from the first go around, and yeah, what are you looking for? Because there might be some ladies watching right now. You know what I'm saying? Look, don't be in his DMs. You know what I'm
Oh
saying?
shoot.
Let's shoot. Look, women of
No,
God
you
only.
can come to my DM. Yeah, my DMs are wide open. I am available. Nah,
But you
you
look,
my
you
DM.
don't want all them look, Jezebels coming in on them.
Nah. Hey, at 37 years old, married for 14 years, just I'm in a different place mentally than I probably was at any time in my life. But just to answer your question, as far as what I'm looking for, definitely somebody who complements, it's just compatible with what it is that I desire and how I'm living. I, I'm I mean, I'm open to a lot of different things as far as like living lifestyles, traveling, being more at home. Like all of those things are wonderful, but definitely someone who is saved and really loves God for real, not just Christian on just the title, but like their lifestyle, they're prayerful, they love to worship, the church thing, I haven't been to church in a while. I'm not a big church goer, but I'm not opposed to it. um you know because I grew up in the church and I spent a lot of time in the church. I'm just not a big get up on Sunday and go to church every single Sunday. But so yeah, that's really the main thing: compatibility and being saved. Being saved is really key. So yeah, that's what I would say about that.
I mean, well, listen, hopefully one of these days GSL will have a dating show where you can come on and be on the dating show and stuff like that, So we're gonna
I look
praise the
forward.
Lord about that. But in the meantime, in between time, let's talk about this no church thing, bro. Because I just told you about what I desire and not, first of all, y'all are so needed. Like y'all men folk are so needed in the church. Because now I mean, not just because again to be good examples to the ones coming up, but again, it's the narrative and it's the perspective that old men don't go. So I would love like it enlighten us on what and why that is, that or you particular. I know you can't speak for every man, but like, why don't you go, bro? And like why I mean, I get that the situation with the previous pastor or whatnot, that could probably have an impact and whatnot as well. But who's to say your wife ain't at the church that you ain't going to? I'm just saying, like, if you really want a true believing woman, like, I mean, that's usually where most of them at. So
you know
look, enlighten
um
us, brother.
so I'll give some good insight on it, because and I like to think that I speak for a lot of brothers that say, if you a man that got your life together and you're just a natural leader and you're doing what you're supposed to do. um let me just answer the question because that's going way too deep. um as far, as far as not going to church, for me, because I know the word, I read the Bible all the time, I pray all the time. Because of those things, you kind of you just fall out of the routine of it. It becomes like a routine versus getting anything out of it. you
Mm,
know the scripture says assembly of others. So without that of it, right? So if you're not, sometimes you enter a space in your life where you are more like a hermit, or you just have this isolation season in your life, but you're not supposed to stay there. So a lot of us, I think,
mm,
we there comes a point in our life where we know we need to build ourselves and develop ourselves, but then unfortunately we choose to stay there as opposed to, okay, now that you done got yourself together, you got your mind right. Because somebody like myself, I was very impressionable. I was going to church and doing everything I was told, you know. And so
Mm,
here it is. I did everything I was told, but yet I have a failing marriage. And I came in with the best intentions and everything was just so perfect. So you know what?
mm,
Let me go ahead and find myself and find out what I'm supposed to be doing and see God for myself. And so now I can say my spiritual life is stronger than when I was going to church, 3 times a week and
mm,
everything like that. I'm stronger, 100%. So, but you stay, you can't neglect what the scriptures and what God talks about, and He does tell us not to forsake the assembly of others. So I have to repent for that. But for a lot of men, you get stronger sometimes by yourself versus hearing, and that's if you are studying the scriptures yourself and doing those kinds of things. A
mm-hmm,
lot of other reasons could be laziness and just not really seeing the importance out of it. Because as a man, we're just natural leaders, natural go-getters. So if I'm getting everything and I got you really just have to see the need for the church in your life. Because if you
mm,
don't see the need for it, then why am I going? It's a waste. I could just watch, I could just watch my football games or my basketball games and just rest to prepare for the week because I'm doing everything I need to do without going to church. So why do I
mm,
need to go if I'm able to do everything anyway? So
mm,
it's just not seeing the need of it, I would say,
mm.
as to why we don't go. Mhm.
I mean, I could see that. I feel a little bit of my husband as well as and I can understand what you're saying. Um, but I guess this is what I would present to both of y'all, anybody, any man watching right now, that may be struggling with this. Um, your perspective, and no shade, I'm sorry, right? But it's coming across very. And I'm not just talking to you. Okay, this perspective, I'll just say it like this perspective of thinking about that. Okay, I'm getting my thing is very youth centered, and I believe the importance of coming together is because somebody needs you
Mhm.
there. You know what I'm saying? Like wherever you decide to go serve, like let's say you start a men ministry about divorce. You know what I'm saying? Maybe you talk to the young men about entrepreneurship. Like your presence there could make such an impact that could not be happening right now. Like because maybe there's some people at this church or that church that are exactly like you are not seeing that representation because you're not there. You know what I'm saying? So I just think we all should kind of just think about that because again, like even things I've been through in my life, right? I understand like okay, I went through it and I'm thankful that God helped me through it. But then I think I ended up writing a book and even creating this platform and everything because I understand that it's not just about me and getting through, but it's for the next person as well. And I didn't know, right? But let's just say what 10 some years ago when I wrote my book, I didn't know like who was going to get it and who was going to impact. But when I do have people come to me now and say, "Hey, I read your book, that inspired this, that inspired that," like how could that inspire anybody if I never wrote it? Like I kept whatever wisdom to myself. You know what I mean? It's just an example, but I just hope that I'm helping you guys to see some type of importance. Like I said, even with my husband, right? I try to have the conversation, but at the same time, I'm not no naggy woman. I'm not gonna want him or nobody to go. But
Yeah.
I see the change that has happened in our son by me taking him. Who knows what could be more of an impact with him actually going as well? Like um I know that would have an effect on him because I've already seen the effect of him just going with me,
Mhm.
and so it's just something. I just think it's something else when again a family can come together, or the man can lead in this area. Because honestly, again, even with the leadership in the church supposed to be the man, of a wife, and I know people don't like that. I know a lot of women might not agree with that, but that's also biblical. I'm not making it up. Like it's talking about men being in charge of churches and things of that nature, and um there are some that's
There are
doing
some
so, but
that's
then we
doing
know
so,
that
but
there's
then
a
we
lot
know
of
there's a
rulership
lot of
clothing
rulership
and things of that
clothing and
nature.
things
So
of
if
that
we
nature. So if
need
we need
true God
true
fearing
God
men, men
fearing
that are
men,
actually
men that
studying
are
the word of
actually studying the
God,
word of
actually
God,
share the word of God.
actually share the word of God.
It's just
It's
just saying that you
just
guys
saying that you
matter.
guys
You know what I'm
matter.
saying? You
You know what I'm
guys
saying? You guys
are very
are
important
very
to the
important
body of
to the
Christ, and
body
I
of
just
Christ,
hope
and I
that
just hope that
you
you
and anybody
and
listening to
anybody
my
listening
voice
to
will be
my
encouraged
voice
by
will
that
be
to
encouraged by
see
that,
how
to
important
see
you
how
are. You know
important
what I
you
mean?
are. You know what I mean?
You
So
might not see
You
it. You
might
might
not
not
see
even
it. You might not
realize
even
ever
realize ever
until you get in heaven.
until you
That,
get in
then
heaven.
all these
And
people
then
come
all
up
these
and be like,
people
"Cause
come up
you
like,
went,
because
or
you
cause you
went,
was
or because
there, or
you
cause
was
you
there, or
ran
because
that
you
football
ran that
program, or
football
cause you
program,
ran
or
that
because you ran that
entrepreneurship
entrepreneurship
group, or because
group,
you
or
did."
because you did.
You just never
You just
know. But if
never
you never
know. But if
there,
you
you never
never
see
there,
none
you
of
never
that.
see none of that.
I don't know.
I
I'm a
don't
hush.
know.
Me.
so look, everything that you're saying.
I'm a good
So check this out. Everything that you said is completely valid, and I hear your heart. And wow, I mean, you giving that perspective on it, no doubt about it. I mean, maybe I'll go an extra 2 or 3 times in a year. I'm joking, but you know that's really good how you're saying it. So how I look at it, based on what you're saying, right? I would put the onus on the leadership of the churches, right? So if I got a church and I know how important it is to have men in the ministry, then I need to have programs and really focus on outreach for more men to join it. You know, just simply, wanting men in general just to see the importance of going to church. Like you said, here it is. I've been in church my whole life. I read the Bible all the time. I pray all the. I consider myself to be a pretty strong Christian, but here you gave me some great perspective in just a conversation. So I think that
Mm,
the leadership in the ministry, if the outreach ain't there, and that takes sometimes knocking on the doors and coming in the in the house, or getting a cookout, do things that guys like, have a little football thing going, a basketball thing, bring the men out from the community and share that
mm,
kind of message. If because I look at church as a business, not in the money standpoint. Everybody talk about us being greedy. I'm talking about like whatever a company wants to accomplish, they have to have some kind of strategy behind that, and strategy comes from then understanding the importance of building the community that you're trying to build. So this conversation that you having needs to be in the leadership meetings at the churches, and then what's going to be our action plans and how we're going to get the men in the church, because
mm.
that's how you get that. You understand? Just
That's right.
everybody crying for the men to come to the church. You're like, man, I'd rather be asleep and watching football. You ain't finna have me in church every Sunday, So we just don't see the importance of it. But how you just put it, 100%, that's an impact. And I agree with you. I agree with you. I agree. I'm
Well,
not,
that's
and
something
I
to think
never was
about.
opposed to it.
I know the
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
I'm sorry.
No, I would just say I was never opposed to going to church. It just loses its importance as you know
Mm,
what I mean, just living your life.
yeah.
You're just like, I mean, what role it got? But like you said, if it's youth centric, you're gonna think like that. But if it's service centered, then you won't think like that. So that makes
Yeah.
a lot of sense. Yeah.
Good. I'm glad that
Good. I'm glad
I
that
can make a little bit
I
of
can
sense
make a
on
little bit
that.
of sense on that.
you know.
You know,
But
For sure.
I am part of like
I
the
am part of
leadership at
like
the
the
church I go
leadership
to
at the church
now,
I go to
and
now, and
I'm in the kids
I'm in
ministry,
the
but
kids
still,
ministry, but
like, I
still,
mean,
like, I mean,
that is something to think
that is
about
something to think
every
about
now every now and then.
every now and
I
then.
know that we
I
have a lot
know
of
that
small
we have a
groups,
lot
for
of
example,
small
at
groups,
our
for
church,
example, at our
so
church. So,
there are like
there
some that
are
are
like some that are
specific for the
specific
men,
for the
or it's a
men, or it's a
basketball group, and
basketball
different
group,
stuff like
and
that.
different stuff like that.
Um,
Um,
but at the same time,
but at
too,
the
what
same
makes
time,
the
too,
difference
what
for
makes the
me, and this
difference
is
for
why I
me,
don't
and this
too
is
much.
why I
I
don't
talk
too
about
much.
this
I
about it
talk
every
about
now
this
and
about
then,
it
but at
every
the
now
same
and then,
time,
but
I'm
at the
like,
same
I'm
time,
not
I'm
no
like,
negative.
I'm not
I'm
no
not going.
negative. I'm not
At the end of
going.
the day, if
At the
you
end of the
going
day,
just
if
for
you
you,
going just
then
for
I don't
you,
even
then
want
I
that.
don't
You know
even
what I'm
want
saying?
that.
I want
You know
you
what
to
I'm
have
saying?
a
I want you
relationship
to
with
have a
God
relationship
enough
with
to
God
say,
enough.
I'm going for the Lord
I'm
at the
going
end
for
of
the
the day.
Lord at
I'm
the end of
going
the
to
day.
be a
I'm
service
going
for
to
the
be a
Lord. Like
service for the
that's
Lord.
what to
Like
me
that's
really
what to
needs,
me
not
really needs,
just
not
going
not
for,
going for.
or the men and the
Or
women
the men
need. The
and the
men
women
they
need. The
shouldn't
men
do
they
it
shouldn't
for
do it
themselves,
for
but for the
themselves,
Lord.
for the Lord.
That's what I'm saying. But
That's what I'm saying.
anyway,
But anyway,
um,
um,
what was I about to
what was
say?
I about to say?
But yeah, I guess in
But yeah,
regards
I
to
guess in
that,
regards
like,
to
yeah, I don't
that, yeah, I don't
want to nag my
want
husband
to nag my
about it,
husband
but I do
about
try to
it.
talk
But I
about
do
it every
try to
now
talk
and
about it
then,
every
because like
now
I said,
and
it is
then.
something
Because like I
that
said, it is
is
something
impression on my
that is
heart.
impression
But
on my heart. But
I think the thing that's
I think the
frustrating
thing
for
that's
me
frustrating for
about this type
me
of
about this
conversation
type
is that it's
of conversation is
me knowing that at the end of the day,
me knowing
it's a
that at the end
personal
of
decision.
the
You know what I'm
day,
saying? And I'm like, well, Lord,
it's
what
a
you want
personal
me to say
decision.
and do
You know what
about
I'm
it? You
saying? And
know
I'm
what I'm
like, well,
saying?
Lord,
Like
what
at the
you
end of
want
the
me to
day,
say and do about it? You know
the
what I'm
man
saying?
gonna
Like,
do
in
what
the
he
day,
wanna do, like,
the
and
man
stuff.
gonna
And
do what he wants to
people,
do,
or
like,
people in
and
general,
stuff.
they're gonna
And
do
people
what they
or
want to do.
people
But at
in
the same
general, they're gonna
time,
do
Now
they want to do. At
he
the
told
same
us to get
time,
out
the
here and make
onus is on the
disciples.
he
pastor.
told us to get out here and make disciples.
So,
Yeah, the onus is on the pastor. whoever that pastor is at your church, the pastor is the one that need to develop programs and strategies and be creative. How we're gonna reach out to the men because you're the president of the organization. So we're lacking, in this department. We got to have an action plan for the men. Let's go out and because I'm telling you right now, Satan got an action plan for the men.
Yeah.
He coming by, and he's winning. I mean, he's winning. I mean, that's just what you got to say. He's the God of this earth. So
Mm.
yeah, the conversation that you having, the pastor, it needs to get flaming in the pastor heart for him to now create outreach because men are asleep.
Mm.
You're like, man, I don't want to go to church because it's boring. There ain't nothing there. I mean, that's how you look at it.
Mm.
I mean, that's just the reality of it. And I'm going to keep it real. I'm gonna be honest with you. When I go to church, man, sometimes I be about to fall asleep because I'm like, yo, the message is not relevant. Yeah, you can worship and you can get your own, but I could worship at home. I mean, that's just the reality of it. But like you said,
Mm.
if that's me centered, everything that I'm saying, every man can relate to. But if we start
Yeah.
centering around, okay, we want to pass it down to other generations, other young men. We want to raise the next generation. That changes everything. That does change everything.
Yeah.
It does.
I mean, well, listen, look, leaders, because I mean, you ain't gonna hear somebody how much you a leader you be. So
So
maybe I ain't calling you no pastor. I ain't telling you that you're a pastor, but I'm just saying
saying
somebody might be on the
somebody
deacon
might be on
board
the
or
deacon
something.
board or something,
I don't know,
Yeah.
or maybe
or maybe
you
you
gotta
gotta
find
find
a church that you could that actually really get fed
get
from. That's the
fed
thing as
from. That's
well.
the thing
Like,
as well. Like
um,
um
I kind of like when I moved back up
like
to
when
this
I moved back
area,
up to this area,
because I was living in
because I
Florida
was
at one
living in
point.
Florida at one point.
I found a
I found
church down there that was
down
deemed
there
in
that was
whatnot,
deemed
and
in
when the Lord
whatnot.
sent me
And when
back
the
up
Lord
here,
sent
I'm
me
like,
back up
Lord,
here, I'm like, Lord,
so it took me a while to
took me
find
a while
another
to
place
find another
that I
place
felt
that I felt
that I was getting a
that
word
I was getting
from,
a
as well
word
as
from, as
getting.
well as
I
getting.
like the
I
church I
like
go to
the
that
church I
does
go
do
to.
well. I feel like that's
I feel
a
like
true
that's
representation of
a
what the king's gonna look like.
gonna look like.
Um,
Um,
so that was something I
so
was
that was
looking
something
forward
I was
to,
looking forward
and
to. And
it took a while to try,
it took a while to
find a
find
place
a
and
place
stuff,
and
but
stuff. But
when on one hand
when
you
on
should
one hand
think
you
or
should think
believe
or
that, hey
believe
man, if
that, hey
we
man,
all coming from
we
the
all coming
Bible, we
from the
should be able
Bible,
to
we should be able to
be receiving from
be
any
receiving
place
from
you
any
go.
place
But
you go. But
um I mean only
I mean, only
where
you know where
the options that
the
are
options
around
that are
you
around you
and
I
stuff.
don't
But
care.
I
Look,
mean even this
I don't
morning as
care
I was
about serving in
studying,
the church.
what's
If
that?
when serving in the church becomes about the people who you can help around you, I can serve anywhere, and that's just
Mm,
a perspective change. So I mean, I ain't going for my life to be changed. God could touch me in the grocery mart, in the grocery store. So, if I'm looking at it from a standpoint of to be a blessing to other people, that changes the whole. Once you change your perspective and your paradigm on something, it just changes everything. I could see the
mm,
value in going to church. I still enjoy my Sundays, especially when it's football season. That's tough. That's going to be a tough sacrifice. You better know if I'm going to church on Sundays, I'm really making a sacrifice for God because, that's just what it is in this day and age. But no, I appreciate that though. Thank you for bringing that up. That's a good point. That's a
no
really good
problem.
point.
Well, listen, that's
No
the
problem.
least
Well,
we
at
can
least that's
do
the
for
least
look
we
the
can
one
do
that
for look, the one
went
that
on the cross
went
and
on
did
the cross
all
and
that
did
suffering
all
he
that
did. We
suffering
can
he
look at
did. We
least
can look at least,
you know
you know,
go to the football game
go
afterwards.
to the
I
football
mean,
game
or host a
I
nice
mean,
good old Super Bowl
or host a
men's
nice good old
prayer
Super
meeting or
Bowl
something. I don't know.
men's
Like,
prayer meeting or
look, you
something.
got
I
me
don't
making
know.
all the
Like,
ideas, man
you
of
got
God.
me making all the ideas, man. I got.
But man, listen, we done seen you. You out here traveling and all kind. Oh Lord, did I lose you? Oh Lord. Oh, there you go. Now you be safe on it. We might need to get ready to wrap this up because you out here driving and stuff, and we need you to be safe on the road. Oh Lord. I'm gonna wait for Brother Javon to come back. Hopefully he get a chance to come back and we'll wrap things up because I don't want to keep you on too long. You over here driving. Are you there?
Can
I
you hear
hear
me?
you a little bit. Yes, I hear you a little bit now.
Okay.
Oh Lord.
Okay. There we go.
Oh Lord. We gonna look. We finna go ahead and wrap up though, so you can drive safely. Okay.
Okay.
I was gonna let you tell us a little bit about your business endeavors since an entrepreneur out here and things of that nature. If you could tell us about that, and then just share, where we can find you on social media, you and your business, and anything else you want to share before we go. Just feel free.
Yeah, no, I think I just want to leave with a word of encouragement for those out there. Um, the ministry that you're in is so needed in this day and age, especially with all of the podcasts and all of the information and everything that's out here. We need to hear godly perspectives. I don't care if it's a woman or a man. We need to have that out there because right now I feel like the enemy is winning the content space, and we need to get it out. So that's the reason why I wouldn't mind coming in, supporting, telling my testimony. And I'm gonna be honest with my testimony. And I don't even honestly, I don't care who like it and who doesn't like it. I got a testimony to share, and it is going to help a lot of people because I don't want people
Mm-hmm.
making the same mistakes that I made, man
Mm-hmm.
or woman.
Mm-hmm.
Um, or doing the same things that I may have done that caused it. I could take accountability for a lot of it as well. So, with all that being said, I just say stay encouraged and just know that God is in control, and just to trust Him. And I'm telling you, 14 years of marriage, 37 years old, starting over. I'm gonna tell you right now that God certainly has a plan. No matter how old you are, no matter where you are in your life, if you just surrender and trust Him, He will make a way and show you what's next. But you have to trust Him. You have to give Him a chance. I think a lot of us just don't give Him a chance. We're like, man, it's just so because once you give Him a chance, you realize how easy it is. You realize, that all this time you could have just been kind of leaning back and trusting God, and things
Mm-hmm.
that you used to miss, you won't miss no more. So, and I'm really preaching to myself because in the area of love life, I just thought, Lord, I gotta pick. I gotta pick. I gotta be the one. I mean, that's how I would feel, but that's a mistake. You need God's
Mm-hmm.
guidance in everything that you do.
Mm-hmm.
So, I'd like to leave on that with that message
Mm-hmm.
there, and you can have me on again anytime. And next time I will make sure that I am prepared. I got a whole big old time slot wide open and everything. But this has been a wonderful experience, though. Be it as it may.
Well, listen, pull on my little heartstrings, man. I appreciate that. I'm glad that we did
Yeah.
get a chance to have this conversation. And I definitely seen great things for you, man, a guy. You know what I'm saying? You're definitely welcome back anytime here on the GSL platform.
Thank you very much for having me. Is it Miracle Sims? That's what you go by?
Yep. Yep. That's why I go by Miracle Swims.
All right. Well, God bless you. Thank you again for having me.
Wishing I would have a one night affair.
Thank you so much for watching the GSL Talk Show. And thank you to Javon for visiting us tonight. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and share. Good night.